All right, folks, welcome to Wholehearted Living with
Valerie
and Bennie.
Here we are. Woohoo!
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Actually, we're recording this before the New Year, but we know it's after the New Year as you're listening.
Thank you, because they were completely lost and really wanted to know that. They're going to journal about it.
Well, I'm only saying that because I was going to bring up the fact that today was my last day of school for 2 weeks. Because I'm on spring break. Spring break.
But now you're not going to bring it up.
Winter break.
But now you're not going to bring it up?
No, I am. I'm bringing it up right now.
Oh, you did?
Did you hear me talking?
I did, but you said because I was going to bring it up.
I am, and I did.
Okay. Well, that was exciting.
I know. It is so exciting.
Iggy, thank you for keeping us in sound.
Hello. As always.
As always. Yeah. Hello.
Always fun.
Always.
Yeah, always.
Everything's always.
So you want to hear something fun?
Sure.
Wow, that sounded like excitement. Everybody, well, my sister's so excited to be here. She's looking at her nails. Sure. Okay, we bought another car.
What?
I know, it was the weirdest thing. For those of the listeners, we've never bought a new car, and Trinity was our very first one to ever buy a new car because she bought it during remember that season when used cars were as much as new cars, and she would have had to get a loan that was way worse than buying a new car, so she bought a new car. And then 1 year ago, right about now, we bought the car. We bought a newer car. It was 7,000 miles. Yeah. And it's a long story. I'm not even going to get into it, but we loved it. Mm-hmm. Totally loved it. Had no problems with it. And honestly, it was a great car.
Oh, wait, so you don't have that car anymore?
Yeah.
I thought you meant you got like a second new car.
Oh. So what ended up happening though is that both Patty and I were watching a show. Nowadays you never watch shows with commercials, right? It's almost never. But we do like this one show on Peacock, and the only Peacock subscription that we have is the one with commercials. Mm-hmm. So it's the cheaper version. Mm-hmm. And they kept popping up with the fact that they're doing no interest loans for the car that we had. Mm. And so we were like, well, because we were paying an interest rate, so we're like, this doesn't make any sense. Right. So, what would that all look like? That was literally on Friday, I think, that we were watching this.
So a week ago.
Or maybe a Saturday. No.
Yes.
Oh, yes. It's been a week. That's right. So a week ago. And this is Friday. It couldn't have been today.
Yeah.
So on Friday we saw this thing. On Saturday she's like, I'm being serious, and I said, so am I. And then what we ended up doing was, or maybe it was on Saturday that we saw it. Maybe on Saturday we saw it. Patty.
Doesn't matter. I mean, honestly.
Oh, yeah. It does matter because what ended up happening was, it was like Saturday was when we saw it. Sunday is when Patty started doing all this investigation. She was actually doing it during the Chiefs game and sending messages back and forth. And that afternoon, they brought us a 2024 or how many miles? 25, 30, 40 miles, something like that.
Oh, my gosh.
Car. And
took yours?
And took ours. And it's... Honestly, I'll be honest with you. There's some things about it that I don't like as much as the old car. And then but most of it I do like. It's really nice. But if you sat in it, I'm not even sure you would. The dashboard's really cool. It's massive. It's like having a big screen TV in your house. And then the other thing is that but it drives exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Everything about it is virtually the same.
So, but your payment is less because you have no interest?
No. We actually increased our payment, but we're going to pay it off sooner.
Okay.
So the monthly is more, but we'll pay it off sooner. And they, for whatever reason, we still didn't get exactly 0%, but it was less than, or whatever it was. It's much less percentage than what we were paying. So it's like, we're thinking, we can get a brand new car by just trading this in. It's black.
It's the same car.
You literally
basically
are going to look at it, and yes, it is different on the outside. But even me, knowing that it's a different car, I barely noticed that it's a different car. Iggy notices it because he understands all this stuff. Like, and Patty, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Well, I just noticed that it's black. And it still is it's aerodynamic. And I mean, well, I just mean when you see it, you literally will go, oh, yeah. It's not like it's not like a Prius to a Sonata.
Right, right.
It's like that you notice.
I don't notice a lot of stuff with cars in general, so I probably would notice that it was a different car.
Yeah. You would notice the inside because...
I wouldn't, because I sat in your car one time. No, I guess 2 times. But I don't pay attention to that stuff. Peter would notice that for sure.
Peter would definitely notice. Peter's going to notice the outside.
Yeah, probably.
He'll be like, he would notice the outside.
He'll probably go, is this a different car?
Yeah, exactly. But but can you believe that?
No.
To go from, and to never having bought a new car to buying 2 enseguida, ¿cómo se dice? In a year.
Yeah.
And then now we have a brand new car, or I don't know how many miles it has on it now, 150 miles or...
But that's just a trip that she can sit there and just do her thing, and they drive it over for you.
And
that's
then
crazy.
we talked to the same guy as last time and just said, hey, we see that the interest rate's lower and what we get, the trade and this and that and the other and blah, blah, blah. And suffice it to say, it's like, yeah, our payment's higher, but we're going to pay it off sooner. And because the interest rate is less, it's like, I'm going to call it a good deal, because it's like, why not?
Yeah.
But that was never on my radar. We honestly, I still love the other car. I didn't have any issue, but it is funny because you get used to things. So this one has this trippy way of putting the transmission in instead of like little buttons. This is the one thing that I know is going to sound ridiculous. Put it in gear.
Oh, okay.
What did I say?
You said put the transmission in.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, put it in gear. So it has it looks like a blinker, and you flip it, and that's how you make it go. And then the other thing that's a trip, and this is really, it's so stupid, but it is a bummer. The other one had like built-in guitar open button thing, like you just push a button that was on the mirror, and it was really cool. This one doesn't have it.
Oh.
And so we just thought they kind of forgot it, because it's the same class, like trim. So it's the higher trim. So we just assumed. And Iggy did some research and goes, nope, that 24 doesn't have it. So
interesting.
So yeah, so it doesn't have that, but it does have other cool things, because we had to buy a little device for CarPlay to work on ours. We like, the Apple CarPlay. Do you ever do that?
I don't know what it is. What is Apple CarPlay?
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. So it's just a way to connect your iPhone to the device. And then it automatically, it looks like an iPhone, quite frankly. The button, everything looks like an iPhone practically. And you can kind of go da-da-da-da and just do your music and all that. Well, we had to plug it in to make it work. And the old one, because, now I'm getting into the weeds. But because it comes with its own like GPS thing and all that stuff. And for whatever reason, because it came with its own GPS thing, the old model did not allow you to wirelessly connect to that. You had to connect to it. But this one, I don't know what they did. They must have gotten some kind of agreement. So now they can. So now we can go right in and boom, it just pops right up. So very cool. Patty didn't even use CarPlay because she was like, oh, I hate using the little device or the wires. So she used the other thing, which also works. It's just that we're Apple people. We like it. Yeah. Yeah. And it would cut it. It's just not as secure because it's like a secondary device. This way, it's like you literally open the car door and turn it on and boom, it's on. It's like it's connected.
Well, you're definitely way more into that stuff than I am. I don't care. I don't even listen to the radio in the car. So
yeah. Well, we don't listen to the radio either. Nobody calls it that.
Well, that's what I call it.
We listen to music. You don't listen to music?
Unless I'm in the car with Peter.
What do you do?
I sit in silence.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I do that sometimes, actually. Yeah.
I pretty much do, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also one of those people that doesn't mind walking in and pushing a button to turn the lights on in my house.
Yeah, but that's just stupid. That's just stupid. Because when you can just sit here and just click on this little device and do that. And you know what else we just put in? Oh, because now I'm not in school. Did you see what we did over there?
No, what did you do?
Okay, so we put in a... what's that called? A touchless faucet.
Oh, see,
So
Peter
you just
told
put
me
your
about
hand
that, and
underneath
I'm
it, and
like,
it goes, and it turns
those
on.
are so freaking annoying. I cannot handle those.
Oh, I'm telling you right
Do
now.
you? I
If
cannot.
Jesus was here, he would require it.
Every time I go to the bathroom and I'm sitting there going, you know, like in a public place, I'm like, oh my God, just give me a freaking handle so I can turn it on when I want to and turn it off when I want to.
Yeah. Well, this thing really works well. I was concerned about that too, to be honest with you. I was concerned it would be irritating. It's not. It works. It's very quick, but it is something to get used to because I've turned off the handle a couple times and I'm like, ugh. And so then you have to put it back.
Oh.
But the nice thing is once you have the handle on, you just turn it on and now it's always the same temperature. You don't have to try and find the right temperature. It is that temperature. Of course, our water heater's in New Mexico, so it takes an hour and a half for the water to get hot. But once it is, it works perfectly.
Oh, that's very cool, I guess, if you like that.
It's very cool. It'll change your life.
No, what is, I just out of sheer curiosity, what is the reason that is better than just turning a handle?
Oh, I actually don't care.
Oh.
So, no. The reason why is because Patty liked the way it looked, and then we just said, why not? So, because it was majorly on sale. It was one of those Black Friday things. And so she was just like, why not? So that's why we did it. It wasn't because we were like, oh, we need that.
No, the other faucet was leaking.
Oh, no, that's why we replaced the faucet.
Yeah.
We replaced the old faucet because it was leaking and it was going to cost $50 to repair. And I just did it 1 year ago, the repair. And I'm like, I'm not going to do this every year for $50. And so we decided to buy a new one. I think she's saying, why did we not buy the same one that we bought?
Yeah, just why,
in the
what was
past?
the waterless for?
And,
You wanted this one.
and so, well, no. What happened was we were just looking at it. We were looking at a bunch of different ones. And I said, well, what do you think of this one? And then I saw, oh, look at this. It's on sale, this wireless one or whatever they call it, and sensor one, and touchless. And she was like, oh, yeah, cool. So that's what we did.
She didn't want it at all.
No, but I wouldn't have, I didn't like feel like, oh, we have to get this.
Yeah.
But we needed a new faucet. And because it was like over $100 off or something like that. It was a huge sale. So it was like, oh, let's try it.
Gotcha.
See?
That's
So,
wonderful.
thank you for joining our podcast. This is Wholehearted Living. No, seriously, it was but it's been weird because now I'm not used to not having just constantly thinking about different projects that I have to do for school. I'm just not used to it. It's literally a constant thing of needing to do things. And so the fact that right now it's like I have time, it feels like I fixed the faucets in the office bathroom. They were leaking, and then I was able to fix that.
A lot of leaking going on around here.
Oh, it's a 1,000-year-old house. So yes, it's very true. And so I was able to fix that. I fixed a leak outside. Seriously, the hose was leaking, and so I fixed that thing. Yeah. So yes, I've done a lot of that. And now what I'm gonna have to do is because I have to keep turning off and on the main water, it loosens up stuff in the thing. And so now I got to go into the water heater this weekend and take it apart and get all the rocks and stuff out.
All the
Because
debris.
we could tell that there's
Little debris in it.
that we've lost pressure.
Oh.
I think we've lost a lot of listeners based on this conversation too. They're all going, I wonder if this is ever going to talk about wholehearted living. So, yeah. But
Well, as I stated when we first got on here, we're still recording this pre-Christmas, but it's after the New Year already.
Yep.
And so I am off for 2 weeks, which I'm thoroughly looking forward to. What I kind of like about, obviously you guys are listening to this way after Christmas, but what I like about being off for 2 weeks and having Christmas already on Wednesday, the coming Wednesday, is that after that it's like I'm off. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, right.
Monday,
because Christmas is like there's holidays,
there's still
things
stuff
to do.
Yeah, you're still doing stuff up till Wednesday, preparing for Christmas, and then I'm having my little family over Monday night for Christmas, and then we have Christmas Eve with the Grogan family, and then we have Christmas Day with the Gonzalez family. So it's like bam, bam, bam stuff.
Yeah.
But after Christmas, then I still have like a week and a half off of work.
That's nice.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. That is kind of cool. Yeah. What what we do and what we're going to do is Wednesday morning, it's just first of all, I like football, so I'm going to want to watch it. But if it's not the Chiefs, I don't really care. I could totally just, but the Chiefs are playing on Christmas Day. And so.
What time?
10.
Ah.
So that's why I told mom when mom sent a text out saying, well, we're going to open the doors at noon and eat at 1. I said, well, we're not going to be there until 1:32. And she was like,
noon is kind of early.
I thought it was kind of early too, especially like Nicole and their little kids.
And they're not coming until after anyway, because they go to Doug's house, or, Richard's parents' house.
Yeah. So the thing is that we just thought, but it works out really well for us because the kids usually come over in the morning on Christmas Day, and then we go to mom and dad's kind of together. And so this really works out because people would have come over anyway to watch the football game. So now it's like Christmas football and then mom and dad. Yeah. And I'll make a brisket again.
I'm so excited. I saw that in the group text. I'm like, oh my gosh, because I don't like tamales. So I'm always like, oh. Yeah. What do I eat?
I love tamales, but yes, I make, and I usually make a good one. I
think you made a brisket last year, right? I feel like there was another
I made one a number of years.
Oh, I wasn't there last year. That's right. I was sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed you.
Yeah, you could tell. Huh?
I don't remember that. Did everybody else show?
Yeah, everyone.
Wow. Nice. I really
You guys played that game she brought or something.
Oh, that's right. They did. Because I remember that was really kind of fun.
Yeah.
No, what's funny is that
I think Bea didn't go because I think she was sick too, but Dustin went.
Dustin went. Yeah, that's right. I made a brisket I made a brisket several years and it was very good. But one year I made it and it cooked early. And I made the mistake of wrapping it all up and putting it in.
And then it kind of still cooked.
It kept cooking, which it's normal that it kept cooking, but I don't think I estimated how much, and so it was a bit dry. I do not like dry meat, so I was very fussy with that. Besides the fact that I was fussy because pricey. I just don't like it, but they're not pricey. Cheap. Man.
Yeah,
they're expensive. So I was like, oh my gosh, so. And it takes 12 hours to make. So when you spend 12 hours trying to, nurse a thing, and then you're like, oh gosh, this didn't work out. Well, no, I knew before I bit it because I was cutting it and I was like going, where's the juice? And I was like, not happy.
That is frustrating.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I see juice on Wednesday.
Yes, there will be because I'm going to make sure that it's going to be perfect. So, well, there you go.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. Tonight I bring the topic.
Yes.
And my topic was lost in the mail.
Oh my gosh, did your dog eat it? She's coming to school going, no. My dog ate my homework.
I'm not going to lie. I honestly.
Oh, wait. Everybody note it down. She's not going to lie.
I think I say that every podcast.
You do.
No, I forgot that we were recording tonight. And so when I realized last night that we were recording, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about this. I put no thought into this. What am I going to do? And so I took some questions from people and then I forgot the questions. I don't know if I lost them or they're still at work somewhere in a bag. But anyway, we'll do that in another podcast because I'll have.
If you find them.
And I didn't even look at the questions because I thought, I want these all to be
a surprise.
They wrote
to
them
us.
all on the same paper, like they just took a different line and wrote the next question. And so I wanted us both to not know what they were.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, now that we're in the new year, and we kind of did talk about a couple weeks ago about New Year's resolutions, goals, and stuff, but something that people generally do in the new year is make a resolution to either eat healthier, be healthier, work out, or whatever. That's a huge resolution people make every year.
For sure.
And so
gyms
I guess
get totally full.
They do.
And they actually, this is why they do tons of sales and they overbook it because they know that most of you are not going to keep going after January.
100%. Because every January, I'm like, oh my gosh, when are the people that are just in it for the first of the year going to leave? Because I cannot.
Because there's no more machines.
Exactly.
And there's no more. Yeah, everybody's
and sure enough, it just starts weeding out, and you're back to like the people that are.
Which is a little sad because you actually want to encourage everybody to keep doing it, but I get the practical aspect is I want to use my machine.
Right. But here's the thing. The reason I decided to ask questions is because, and have people write them down, is because the question that I did remember the question the first person asked, I'm like, write this down. Don't hold your thought, write down your question. And then I'm going to ask everybody to write a question and we'll answer it on the podcast. But what she asked me was, how long do you think it'll take if I start eating healthy? And of course, she says the first of the year. She's not going to say today.
Yeah.
The first of the year, and I start working out, how long do you think it would take me to lose 20 or 30 pounds? And so that's when I was like, okay, I want to hear your questions on here. And I told everybody not to do like a weight question. I said, anything for like wholehearted living your best life, just living, but that particular girl asked that question. That's what made me think of it. So, but I couldn't give her an answer because you don't.
There's a gazillion variables.
A ton of variables. But one thing I did say was that specifically to this, if you're looking to lose 20 to 30 pounds, please don't expect it to be that first month that you decide to go work out and eat better, because it's not going to happen. It took you how long to put on 20 or 30 pounds? It's going to take you twice as long to take it off.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So-
what is so I'm acting like I'm a health coach, but I'm curious, how is she recently overweight, or has she been overweight for a significant amount of time?
She's been overweight since I've known her.
Which is,
Well, I've been at the school 3 years now.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it,
Three.
okay, I'm going to use words that I hope make sense to folks, but we all reach a homeostasis.
Mm-hmm.
We all reach this. How would you define homeostasis? Can you Google it?
Like
But-
a balance.
A balance.
A balance.
Our
body-
body finds a balance, and so when you're 3 years overweight, you're not only needing to reduce your weight, but you're having to change your metabolism through the working out in order for you to find a new homeostasis, because otherwise you're going to go right back to. For instance, for me, mine is somewhere in the area of 180, and if I got down to 170 something or other at one point, because I was like at 205 during COVID, and I had never been over 200 pounds, at least that I remember or was aware of. And I got down to 170, and it was like, it took minutes for me to get to 180. And then I just sit there, it's like, that's basically where, that's my
You do.
homeostasis.
Everybody has that comfort weight. And I think it differs for men and women.
Oh, for sure.
Because it does. And I think a lot of times, depending on if a woman is in menopause, like there's a lot of factors.
A lot of factors.
But my thing is, for anybody listening that is like, yes, it's January, this airs the 7th or something like that,
Yeah.
or 8th or whatever, I've been in a week, I haven't lost a pound yet, whatever, like it's going to take some time. And if you want the weight to stay off, let it take some time. You know, you don't want to do that quick fix, like, oh my gosh, I lost 20 pounds this month, because it's probably not going to stay on.
No. If you're 50 to 100 pounds overweight, then you might lose 20 pounds and it might stay off, because you're losing a lot of water fat and a lot of other stuff that's or water weight.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose a lot of different things, because if you genuinely are changing, you might lose quite a bit. But then you get to those
it's usually
real
the very,
pounds
very
of
heavy. Yes,
yeah.
it's-
Then
you-
all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is going to be work. You're not.
Yeah. But if you want to lose like the actual fat, we're not, like you just said, the water and all that stuff. If you want to lose the actual fat, it's going to really have to tap in at some point where you're losing maybe 1 pound every couple of weeks.
Every couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to be a 1 pound.
Well, and
1 to 2 pounds
especially
a
if
week.
you're working out. If you're working out, then
have
which I
muscle.
would highly recommend that you not just. Most people think I'm going to do cardio. It's so funny, I swim, and where the swimming pool is at, right next to a jacuzzi, and then there's two, like a sauna and the wet sauna. What's that called?
Steam room.
Steam room,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's those two rooms, and I see people that are clearly like obese. They go in there, and I watch them they just sweat to death. I don't even know if they ever work out. They just go in there and they go in and out, in and out, in and out, because they're too hot. And I'm just doing laps, going back and forth, and I'll see them. And then eventually I just sit in the jacuzzi for like 10, 15 minutes and I go. But I just watch them going in and out, and I'm thinking, I tell Patty, it's always so sad for me, because I'm thinking they're probably so excited because they get home and they've lost weight, and then they have a drink of water.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
like,
true.
it goes right back.
That's true.
And so I'm like, and then, and why I'm bringing that up is because a lot of people think, oh, when I do cardio, I sweat like a pig. And it's like, yeah, but that's not what's going to change you. What's really going to change you is some muscle growth and changing that, which means if you're basing your health off of the scale, you're going to be in trouble because muscle is going to be heavier than the fat.
So I have a scale that measures like your bone, your
bone density.
Yeah, your bone density, your visceral fat, it measures everything.
Yeah.
And so when I started counting my macros and I started lifting more weight, started doing the progressive overload, I was like, okay, I'm not going to weigh daily because everything fluctuates on a daily basis, but I am going to weigh once a week just to see where I'm going with this. And my weight will stay exactly the same, but I noticed my muscle started increasing.
Yeah.
My bone density started increasing.
Right.
My visceral fat went down. And so it was very good to see that. But if I just got on a scale that showed my weight,
you're frustrated.
It was exactly the same.
Yeah.
So you're like, people might be going, I'm not losing any weight, but your body could be changing in many ways.
Yeah. You were nodding, Iggy? What were you nodding?
Well, let me just finish.
sure.
I want to hear Iggy, but I want to tell you guys. So a couple days I had a weird stomach and it was just weird. It was like, am I getting this bug that's going around, this like, I guess a stomach bug. I don't know what they call it. But anyway, a couple of kids at school have had it. And then one teacher said, oh my God, I have 10 kids out today. So I'm like, is that what's happening? But what was happening is I didn't have an appetite. So I would eat something before work because I wanted to eat something.
Right.
And then I was like, but not hungry for it. But I was like, I got to eat this. I want to eat.
You got to eat something.
Yeah. Then I go to lunch. I eat my lunch. Even though I'm not starving, I'm like, well, I'm here. Everybody's here. I'm just going to eat. I didn't have an appetite. It didn't taste great. I was just eating to eat. I didn't eat dinner by the end of the night because I was absolutely not hungry for various reasons. We were at a get together and it was all food that Peter's like, are not going to eat anything? I go, nothing sounds good. I'm not even hungry. I'm not even fazed by it. So then now we bring in the next night, same thing. I made myself eat breakfast. I ate a little bit of lunch. By the time nighttime came, I'm like, I am not hungry at all. So all that to say, I got on the scale just to see I had lost 3 pounds.
For not eating.
Right.
Yeah.
So that might be exciting to some people.
Yeah.
That was not exciting to me because also when you look at the other things, it was 0.2% down in my muscle. It was 0.3 or something down in my bone. And it was like, so all the places that I want to go up were going down, but my weight that I actually weigh went down. So that was frustrating because I don't want to lose any muscle, especially as we age. And by the way, guys, what Benny said about the cardio is huge because muscle, I always loved when people say muscle weighs more than fat. It doesn't. It's the same amount. 5 pounds of muscle is 5 pounds of muscle as 5 pounds of fat.
Yeah, right.
But when you have muscle on your body and you have muscle continually burning because you've used it, because it allows you to burn calories longer in the day than cardio does. Like you do your cardio,
for sure.
You're done. 30 minutes later, you're done. The muscle keeps going. The muscle keeps burning throughout the day.
That you feel, the ache that you feel is a great ache because that means something's happening. Something is going on.
And then the repair of it all.
That's
it's
the
everything.
repair. Yeah, exactly.
So what were you going to say, Iggy? Sorry.
When I mentioned the weight thing, you said something. You gave this face.
Well,
shake your head.
I think when people say muscle weighs more, muscle's more dense. So then 5 pounds of muscle is going to look smaller than 5 pounds of fat.
Yeah.
But on the scale,
it's
and
the
that's
same.
what people are looking at though, right?
Yeah. But then visually, they're different.
Right. Because your clothes fit different. And see, that's the thing that I would say is you gotta measure success off of different things. Like, okay, if you have one of those scales, you can measure it off of that. The other thing is that you measure it off of, number one, how you feel. This is to me huge because I know when I'm eating right and when I'm exercising, I feel better. I just literally, not just physically, but emotionally.
Right.
Because I feel like, oh, I did the right things. I actually, when I don't work out for, unless I'm sick, it's like, I have to. I mean, these guys all know. I'm like, it's 6 o'clock and I'm like, I hadn't do anything. I'm going to go row.
Yeah.
I'm at least going to go row. I'm going to go do something because it's like, it feels good for me to do those things like emotionally. And then the other thing is that if I know when I went from 205 to 180 or whatever, 170 and then ultimately 180 something, I just felt better. I looked at myself and I went, okay, that's better.
Yeah.
That I just feel better about
Right.
the way I look.
No, and you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people that that are losing weight and they don't see the scale moving, but it's like if you're doing all the things, like try on a pair of jeans that didn't fit you 3 months ago.
Yeah.
See how those fit. Or before you start doing you go on your journey, take measurements.
Yeah.
You know, because I think
or take photos of yourself and shorts and whatever is appropriate for you so that you feel comfortable. But the point is make it so that you could see your body and then take pictures as you go to go, oh, there is progress.
Yes.
There is something that's different.
There is progress. Yeah.
And because the truth is if you're eating better and if you are working out, you are going to experience progress. And honest to goodness, I mean, yes, cardio is great for your heart and your general circulatory system. Did I say that right? And also for breathing. It's good for that. But if you're trying to lose weight, it really, I'm not sure that's really beneficial. And to be honest with you, if you're really just trying to lose weight, you don't have to work out at all.
Yeah.
You could just
do a
eat
calorie
better. You could just eat better and you'll probably lose weight.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be healthy.
But a lot of times you do lose muscle if you're not.
That's what I'm saying. You're not necessarily healthy.
Yeah.
So you could definitely lose weight and you could look in the mirror and go, ooh, I look different. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to feel better or have more energy.
Right. Well, and see, that's the other thing too. I didn't work out those 2 days because I woke up and I felt almost lethargic. And Peter's like, do you still feel bad? I go, I don't feel bad at all. Like I didn't even feel bad when I wasn't eating. My stomach was weird and nothing sounded good. But because I probably had 500 calories for the whole day.
Oh.
I was, probably eating barely something for breakfast and a little bit of my lunch. I mean, I was lethargic.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm not going to go push myself in the gym when I feel like this. I'm just not going to. But I never understand how people, when they go into such a huge calorie deficit and they can still work out, I'm like, how do you have the energy to do that?
Yeah.
It's
Well,
crazy.
it's not sustainable for sure.
No.
Or and then the other thing people do is they take, the protein shakes and all the different kind of workout stuff, which are not bad things if you're doing everything else right. But if you're just doing that like a meal,
right,
again, it's not going to be healthy, nor is it sustainable.
Right.
Because you're going to...
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people I talk to, they're like, well, I'm doing this, that, or the other. And I'm just like, well, why don't you try, just eating real food and not eating processed food, cutting out your sugar, cutting out, certain things that we know aren't good for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to deprive yourself forever, but just start because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in such a state of like, okay, well, if I don't do this, then I'm going to fail, so, and then the next thing you know, you're going to fail because you cannot live like that.
Right.
There's no way.
And there is something about, you have to be really careful because some people also do go balls in. Ooh, can I say that? I said it. So never mind. And it's like, ooh, I'm just going to cut out everything.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because you end up doing it. And then there's another whole component that comes in because now there's shame because I shouldn't have done it, which makes you spiral more. And what makes you feel good? Well, food. So then you do it again. And so there's this whole element of the emotional component of eating a disciplined way. So I always go back to what Mom said, and this is my problem, which is, it's very different. If there's cookies there and they're good, it's over for me. Mm-hmm. I have to figure out a way to get rid of it because otherwise I'm gonna eat them. Mm-hmm. And it's like I don't do well with minimal. But that's what Mom always has been able to do. I mean, cutting a cookie in half, call the cops. I can't understand that at all.
I do that. I mean, I don't think I do it because Mom did it, but I don't feel good eating it's always, our office always has stuff in the staff room. And especially now during Christmas time. And people are like, oh, look, they're grabbing donut after donut. You see the same person grabbing
I know.
donut after donut. And it's like, oh my gosh. And I'll just take like a little sliver of it. I'm like, that's all I need just to taste it. I don't need to.
Well, and I can do that at times. And it is weird because there's times when I'm just, okay, I'm good. And then there's times when it's like, ooh,
Just give it to me.
just give it to me. But if you do deprive, now I will say this, the longer you're able to not do it, all of a sudden you don't crave it as much.
No, it's true.
It's-
Well, especially sugar. Sugar really is an addictive thing. And I mean, I think that's why they put it in a lot of foods that don't necessarily need sugar.
I know.
in
Did
it.
you just hear that the FDA said they can no longer call it certain cereals and certain things healthy?
Yeah.
If they have X amount, I don't know what the numbers are, but I thought, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because they're finally saying that. Because man, there was a lot of quote unquote healthy cereals that were basically sugar.
And you look at the ingredients, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It no make no sense. So
Right. But so yeah, for anyway, I mean, just basically, I guess really all I want to say is like, if you do have a goal, if you set yourself a resolution or a goal for any kind of health related thing or weight loss or whatever, like give yourself time, give yourself the year.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and you can baby step your way. Like I'm going to do XYZ for 30 days. And then at that 30 days, don't throw in the towel. Just say, if it's working, let me do it in another 30 days.
Yeah.
If it's not working, make adjustments. And then like, I think when people see this whole, like, I want to lose weight, I want to look good by summer, you're giving yourself 6 months to lose X amount of weight to look good by summer. It depends on how much weight you want to lose. It really does. But I say give yourself a good year.
what is my wife raising her hand for?
I wanted to say something. Can I say something?
Yeah, I guess Patty's going to say something, everybody. So listen, okay? If you're in your car, pull over, stop. This is going to be important.
Well, regarding this whole weight thing, losing weight.
That's what we're talking about.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
You just said regarding this weight thing.
No, is that I like several years ago. I think I'm maybe between 10 and 12 years ago.
Are you sure it wasn't 11 and 13?
Shut up. I had gotten to a place where I was not happy with my weight, and I wasn't like obese by any means because I'm a small person. I've always been a pretty small person. But I decided, and even for like mental health reasons and other reasons, to like really follow a very radical paleo style of eating. And it took me, and I did. I was strict.
Yeah, you were.
I remember,
I was
actually.
incredibly strict. We lived in Ecuador at the time.
Very difficult.
So we couldn't get
A lot of ingredients.
we couldn't get a lot of ingredients, so that made it more difficult. So I didn't have like access to like maybe sweet treats that I normally would have. So I had to, improvise and do like strawberries or something like that. So I was very, very strict, and I lost like 35 pounds, but it took me 10 to 12 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was 10 to 12 months being incredibly
strict. With
strict.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I did not veer off the path of being very paleo.
Right.
Yeah.
And very, very strict.
Right.
And so, and like I said, I'm a person that is not, I'm a small person, anyway. And so I got down to like 104 pounds.
Wow. That was tiny.
That was really tiny. It was
Yeah.
really tiny. But, and that's not the weight that I've maintained.
Right.
Yeah.
I've gone back up.
Right.
So, and I'm still not a big person.
Right.
But I mean, I just hope that it encourages listeners to go, it takes a long
while.
time.
It takes a long time.
It takes a long time to take off the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's true.
I almost encourage
true,
you.
Patty.
Yeah. Thank you, boogers. Yep. That's what we call each other. That's probably a podcast of itself. Okay. But the thing is that what I would also encourage some
For
of you
people
out
that
there,
don't know this, paleo, just because she mentioned paleo is basically a quote unquote diet, just eating from the Paleolithic time, like trying to eat things that were pre-revolutionary or agriculture. Oh, pre-revel. Oh my God, I can't even think of the word. No,
Well,
I
she
know
said that.
Paleolithic, but I'm thinking of like.
But it's before they pasteurized
agricultural-
milk.
yeah.
Before they did those.
It was
kind of
very.
things.
So you're eating just.
You're eating red meats.
You're eating meat. You're eating no grains.
Seeds.
You're eating seeds, nuts, vegetables, and fruit.
Yeah.
And so you basically are taking out processed sugar. There was no processed sugar back in those days. You're taking out grains. Obviously, with grains, you're taking out the gluten and soy as well. And the reason soy was given up is because it really does have an effect on hormone. And there's a country, and I don't remember the name of the country, but they won't even allow a girl under the age of 18 to have soy because of the hormone effect. And so a lot of times it messes with female hormone. But anyway, all that to say, that's what paleo is. And that's kind of what I started doing before. That's how I opened up my whole blog, is I was like, I'm going to start eating just real food. And that's what I considered real food, was just like meat, vegetables, fruit, and
Seeds.
and seeds and nuts.
Yeah.
And then I would bake paleo treats, and then
Yeah.
we'd go, well,
Which
did
you
they
did
have
great.
an oven back then in Paleolithic times? No, they didn't. But but we also didn't have a refrigerator to keep our stuff. They didn't have a refrigerator either.
Yeah.
But anyway, all that to say, that was a great time for me because I became, certain things that I would feel, I didn't feel anymore after that. Like there was a lot of inflammation gone, all that kind of stuff. And I still eat that way for the most part today. I still.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
You eat very well. I think, but for our average listener out there who you're listening and you're trying to set goals and you're trying to do this thing, the other thing that I would encourage you, but I hesitate to do this because I don't want to steal any motivation that you might be having to do whatever it is, but really try to consider lifestyle change, like making your goal a lifestyle change rather than your goal be, I'm going to lose X amount of weight.
Totally.
Because if you focus on the weight, then theoretically, once you reach it, you're done, which almost always mean you go back to your regular homeostasis. If you change your lifestyle, then all of a sudden, regardless of what happens, and almost everybody loses more weight than they stay at, meaning like Patty did. She went to 105 and now she's like 175. But I'm just kidding.
More like 117.
117 or whatever she is. But the point is that the thing that I was saying is that if you try to have a goal of saying, well, no, I need to eat better. I need to change the way I do that. I need to work out or be physical. I need to do these kind of things. I guarantee you the natural byproduct of that goal is going to be weight loss, healthier mindset, and just a healthier body.
And also too, I feel like a lot of people are like, well, I can't have this, I can't have that.
Right.
Instead of that mindset, think about things that are going to bring you healthier habits. Think about things that you can have. Incorporate, like Benny was just saying, like make it a lifestyle change. Okay, from now on, at every lunch or breakfast or dinner, I'm going to make sure I have a piece of fruit or a vegetable, and I'm going to focus on each meal to have protein around it as well. And then if you focus on those things, you're not going to care about the extra things that you can't, quote unquote, have.
Well, and if you keep doing it right, you're going to be satisfied.
Totally.
Meaning you're going to end up feeling like I'm okay. I don't really need to eat that other thing right now. And then on the other hand, if it happens to be there, then you can just grab it. You can grab a little bit of it, like Valerie was saying earlier. Hopefully you can avoid going nuts. The other thing is make available healthy treats, readily available, so you could just grab them immediately rather than having like your chips and your donut and everything like that hanging around, because you'll obviously go for that. But if you have something that's healthy and available, like in a bowl sitting there where you could just go buy. Now, granted, if you eat 100 of those, you're in equally bad shape.
I remember when I would make my paleo treats, like, we can have tons of these because it's healthy. And I'm like, no, it's just not bad for you like the other, but you can't have tons of them.
But you still can't eat 1,000 of them.
Can you imagine? I made everything with almond flour. Well, I make everything with almond flour. That's a lot of almonds to eat. That's a lot of nuts.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
It's a lot of allergies.
A lot of allergies. Yeah. All right, folks. Well, I actually wasn't sure how long this would be, and this is going to end up being one of our longest podcasts ever. Yeah,
Sorry.
so I'm blaming you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, we'll see you guys in heaven. No, kidding. So, no, but I hope you guys are out there. This is a new year. You got a new opportunity, especially if you're dealing with this whole idea of wanting to lose weight. Totally get it. You know, if it's a motivation for you, then I say go for it. But I do want to encourage you that maybe if you shift that focus to, I want to live healthier, then the byproduct of will be, I don't even know if it'll be losing weight, but it'll be a healthier body.
Yeah.
You're going to know that you're healthier and you'll fit better in your clothes and you'll look different. And that's probably what you really care about. It's probably not the scale.
Yeah.
What you really care about is I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to be able to bend down.
And when you feel good, you look better. It doesn't even matter if the jeans fit the same
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's
totally.
Just like your whole body just changes when you feel
demeanor,
good.
your whole demeanor,
Yeah.
everything is different.
Yeah.
Totally agree. So nice. I'm glad. So that was a good little topic.
All right. Good. Glad.
Yay.
All right.
Thank you,
thanks for
Iggy,
joining
for
us.
keeping us in sound. Go
And
for it.
thank you,
Sorry.
Patty.
Yeah, thank you, Patty.
Yeah, so we are at Wholehearted Living, wholehearted_living_podcast on Instagram. And one of my goals for 2025 is to actually post on that Instagram more.
Yay.
I know, seriously. I thought about it today. I was like, why? Why don't I do that? I don't know.
Well, probably
So-
have it too, right?
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
yeah,
So,
but I'm glad. I'm hoping that this is going to be a great new year.
yeah. And for you all out there listening, I hope for you all it's going to be a great
Absolutely.
year.
Okay, folks.
All right. We'll see you later. Bye.
Ciao.